Hello English learners, welcome to another episode. You can see I'm in the car. I'm just on the way to town to ask people what their opinion on the cost of living crisis in the UK is. So why don't you follow along and we'll try not to speak too fast so you can learn some English along the way. That's the idea anyway. Let's go. What are your thoughts on the cost of living crisis?
It's a fairly serious scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think we are doing a great deal to destroy our own world, and we're paying prices for that.
A lot of people are struggling at the moment. I think it's hard for people to. But everything's harder at the moment, to be fair. Like for people to just live and eat and do normal things, it's a lot harder for them to, because it's very expensive.
What are your thoughts on the cost of living crisis?
It's just really affecting almost everybody now, and kind of across all kind of aspects of their life. So I think people are just kind of, seeing things tighten in kind of everything they do, and that is just a really big challenge for so many people.
The increase of everything's very the economy the current climate is everything's gone up in price. It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Completely awful.
I'm not very literate in terms of I haven't really been keeping up with the news or the economic world, but I know gas prices have increased, for example.
The cost of living crisis, what are your thoughts?
I guess it hit harder as a student, already low income family, so there's not a lot to rely on family wise, so and then just relying on my maintenance loan, the cost of food and also unexpected things have also gone up.
Obviously as a student and I'm living in accommodation, we don't pay for the gas prices per se, we pay for the accommodation rent, so I guess I haven't been feeling it or I haven't really noticed it. But I understand that there's quite an increase in inflation as well.
So kind of having to think more about what I'm spending my money on rather than last year having not so much, but it's been, especially in the winter months, it's been quite hard.
Yeah, and it's going to get colder as well.
Yeah. I have to wrap up a lot.
Is it affecting you personally?
My bills go up, so my bills gone up quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's 100% for electricity bills and stuff. It's ridiculous. Don't turn lights on now.
Nah.
Heating's awful.
I was going to say, have you changed the way that you are living then at the minute?
Barely have the heating on.
Yeah, no, you definitely.
Extra blankets,
definitely
nothing.
got to.
It's a shame that the cost of living is going up so high while the corporations are posting record profits every single quarter. The only people benefiting, or there are people benefiting off of the cost of living crisis, and it's not the people who are most affected.
Yep.
Wars, climate change, etc., etc. And obviously it's driving prices up. It's tough. I'm a pensioner.
Okay.
So, it doesn't actually go very far.
You have bills included in your rent and stuff?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, but
That's good.
I think I know at some of the colleges they turn heating off after a certain hour, so I think during the night they have the heating off after a certain time, but I think my room is heated the whole time, but I think it's different for different colleges.
Which is quite hard hitting, especially even on a grocery shop. I guess you can even tell how much the prices have increased by.
Yeah, you've noticed then, have you?
Yeah, it's quite noticeable, I think. Even, especially as a student, I guess, when you're keeping on top of your grocery shops and you're budgeting a lot more. I think you realise how much it's increased by, especially compared to last year.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I work in the supermarket as well, so obviously you can tell a lot of people are buying less, and obviously I'll notice just by obviously because I do stocking stuff, notice that keeps increasing prices and stuff, which is obviously crazy.
It's they're trying to maintain those profit margins, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You have to post. Every business has to post. Better earnings than last year, and it's unsustainable.
Yeah. That growth model. No.
Yeah. Exactly.
Prices are rising again next year, they say.
Absolutely, and now we've got bird flu with eggs and turkeys and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's feeling the pinch, I guess, at the moment.
It will be.
I've always been a staunch supporter of the capitalism, but I think things have gotten a little bit out of hand, and I think it's time for maybe just a smidge of government intervention to sort of nip it in the bud.
Has it affected you personally?
Yeah, for sure. Just anything from food, all the way to kind of just buying clothes or whatever. You just see it. You can literally see the prices going up. So yeah, just cut back on things, but nothing serious, unfortunately for me.
But like you said, obviously bills, everything's kind of mad at the moment. But yeah, it's rough. But what can you do, man?
How have you been affected?
Not really yet, but it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're tied into an energy deal at the moment. That will end and will change, and obviously will get far more expensive. We have actually spent quite a lot of money in the run-up to the energy crisis, getting insulation, etc., to offset and to make things easier. But it will catch up with us, of course.
Is it affecting you personally?
Yeah, I think just to buy food is really, really expensive. It's a shame that this is the way it is, but yeah.
Have you changed the way that you're living then at the minute?
Yeah, well, you got to be careful what you're spending now, sort of thing. Like obviously heating's like a big one. Obviously when to use it, sort of thing, because it's just so expensive at the moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It hasn't really affected me that much. I'd say probably the biggest way that it's affected me is sort of doing my best to not use as much energy, not waste as much as maybe I typically would. But fortunately, I'm surviving.
Good, yeah. So you've had to change the way you do things a little bit then.
Yeah, for sure. I've always kind of just had the way I've kind of set my life up is to have, I suppose, a good amount of kind of expendable cash to think about how I want to spend, but that definitely means cutting back on things like going out for dinner and things like that. So yeah,
can be tempting with so many nice restaurants in Cambridge.
Yeah, for sure.
It sounds like you're being a bit more kind of mindful of it.
Yeah, mindful of it, as far as, for lack of a better phrase, for the greater good.
Have you had to make any changes then?
I would say probably spending habits I've had to make or be a lot more cautious, not just on food, but just spending in general for everything. But, yeah.
So is there anything you're doing differently then in light of it?
Trying not to spend too much money. I live in a camper van, so
do you?
Yeah.
Is that a lifestyle choice or do you have to?
A lifestyle choice, yeah. Okay. For this reason, because paying rent is just sad.
So have you had to make any drastic changes at all?
I think I'm quite lucky in the fact that I think I have enough money with my maintenance and I worked over summer as well, so I have some money from that. So I've been quite lucky that I haven't needed to reach out for money, but I know that some people have probably been a lot more hard hit than I have, for example. Yeah.
Now, I'm a bit of a romantic, right? So I sometimes dream of doing this.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it. Okay. I think in the summer it's amazing and it's one of the best things. In the winter it's harder, but it is a way of life, and if you can do it, there's so many benefits from it. You have a lot of freedom.
Anything else to add at all?
No, other than the fact that, as I said, I think we're trying incredibly hard to screw up our world.
We're doing a good job of it.
Yeah, we're doing a very accomplished job.
So because there's a diesel heater, it just uses a drop of diesel every 10 minutes, so it doesn't use very much. So it's definitely a lot cheaper than a lot of people are going through at the moment.
Wow, nice. That's really cool. I don't think I've ever met a van lifer in person. You see them on YouTube. Do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I want to at some point, but just not right now.
Well, you could shout it out, but it doesn't exist yet.
No, not yet.
Anything else to add about it?
Well, it's gone to
Favourite word over here? Is that?
Nah. What you said, but it's rough, man. There's not much you can do about it. You just got to go on with it, man. So.